everyone. It's been a while. I didn't felt like sharing this past 2 months, and but some questions reached me about the snakes and the eggs, the reptilian snakes and eggs in the body, and I responded on my blog. I placed there a short message about my own experience with the snakes and the eggs, and I just want to go into it deeper in this video. And apparently, my dear friend Lalita showed a picture of a physical snake, nag. We can also call it nag, but for the convenience, I'm going to call it snake, reptilian snake, which is in essence an entity. And so apparently, they are manifesting in a physical way now with someone. There was one picture, and but I don't have an experience with that. So, as you know, the ones who have been following me, I only share from my own experience and my own source knowing that comes true when it comes true, and I fully trust that. But first of all, I want to wish you all a very happy and harmonic, peaceful every now moment. Because when we're in the now, we are out of the grip of the Saturn clock of time, and yeah, and time is what locks us in to the suffering within this machine. Let's call it a machine, holographic machine, and which is in essence nothing. It's nothing. That's my experience. And can we fix this realm, this holographic machine? No, we cannot. It's a system of evil, with the illusion of light. And it needs us, of course, the source connected ones. And I talked about it before. We are the fuel, we with our electromagnetic pulses, we fuel the place. And the director of this holographic construct, casted us, as avatars, as source connected beings, to keep it going, but up until a certain point, because it needs a reset from time to time. And so you could say we are locked into this hell demonic game, but we are not. We are not. So we cannot change it, but we can change ourselves. And as soon as we become the no thing, fully detached from all, and love ourselves 100%, and trust only and go only with what comes through our own source knowing. In every now moment, we are out of time. We are no longer imprisoned in time. And this system needs something to work with. And when you're no thing, fully detached, they have nothing to work with. And then it's okay to be here, Everything is harmonic, and they leave you alone. But it's a journey. You have to do the work. We have to face all the programs within us, and become conscious of the shadows. And just the moment we become conscious of it, we automatically weave it to our nothingness, you could say. It demagnetizes. And then it's up to us, of course, to make sure it doesn't magnetize again. So we stay fully detached and aware in every breath. So, so don't worry, you know, don't worry. There is a way to um, free yourself, from this system. And yeah, but I've talked about that before. So if you want to know more about that, you can look at my videos I made a couple of months ago. I guess my latest 4 videos is enough. The rest is too old. It's too far away from this now moment. So yeah. So what's my experience with the nags, the reptilian snakes, and the energetic reptilian eggs? My experience with that is when a reptilian snake entered my body through a reptilian shapeshifter, in my case, who hypnotized me. It was like a false light kundalini experience, and it activated immediately lots and lots of programs. And I'm grateful for that, because you you have to demagnetize all those programs to come home in your harmonic nothingness, where there's only peace, and peace unfolds on your outer screen, so the moment the reptilian snake came in, it multiplied itself, and it went to the active programs, you know and into the energetic egg. We women receive as soon as we incarnate, in the new reset. We have the programs, and within the programs, that's how I've experienced it. In the programs are the energetic eggs. We all have them. And reptilian snakes are being placed in the male avatars. And yeah, and they, you could say, we make sure the eggs become active, grow, because of trauma. They need shadow, they need trauma, they need fear. That's part of this black and white hell realm. And the male, the same. Those snakes need trauma, and that's why the source connected ones here in this hell realm, when we talk to each other, it's we all have experienced so much, so much trauma and pain and suffering, and but that's part of this realm, because we need to. They need the suffering, the shadow, within the program to for the egg to become active and ready, and the snake needs to grow up in a way, the reptilian snake. And when it's grown, it has its size, and it's ready to send towards a woman, towards a program within the woman. And yeah, and then it finds its way to the right program, and yeah, and where it lives in the shadow, and where it starts manipulating, of course, and it starts learning. It's there to learn from the source connected ones. How do we make pathways? How do we do what we do? Because we are magical beings. We work with the elements here, and we are the alchemists. So they cannot do that. So they want to learn from us. That's the reason why we all are being born with those programs and with those energetic eggs and with those reptilian snakes. And so, so what's the function of that reptilian snake? Well, I have experienced. It's in essence, it's an entity, and it wants to grow up. You know, it wants to become a full-grown entity. But in order to become a full-grown entity, it needs to live in the shadow of a program. It needs a lot of suffering. It needs a lot of electromagnetic source pulses from us. So yeah, and it needs us to be unconscious, you know, because as soon as we become conscious of it, we see it. Um, you know, we have the power to make the pathways and demagnetize a program. And as soon as we demagnetize program, it becomes nothing. Well, bye bye entity, bye bye egg. You know, it automatically just, you know, turns into nothing because it needs something to work with. So that's my experience, and I became, as you know, the ones who have been following me, I became very very ill. Oh, come, sweetie. I became very very ill after I received that reptilian snake, who started to multiply and yeah went into the shadows of, you know, many programs that were activated, and those programs were in my organs. You know, you can read about it on my website, how that works and how you can demagnetize um, the program, and including the reptilian snakes and eggs, and just turn it into nothing. um, you do it through well, in co-creation, you could say, with the elements. You know, the elements are the, like the or like the womb, in which we can rebirth, of course, and consciously become more conscious every time we rebirth in a way, and we can alchemize. And the mineral pathways we need, we need to weave in a way a program to zero point, to the nothingness. And my background was shiatsu, so the elements were very familiar to me, but I started to let go of all I learned before that moment, and just started to trust what was coming through my source, you know, and only that, nothing outside myself. I let it all go and detached myself from everything I ever learned, and just went with whatever came through my source. And so I started traveling through my body when I was so ill, because my organs were being under attack, and started talking to the organ, and I started traveling through all those layers within a program. And you could say the layers are the elements, and within those layers I had to create pathways. And in those layers, as soon as I created a pathway, there was this image, you know, or an experience, a galactic experience, or a former lifetime experience, or seeing myself, um, seeing myself in the same avatar I have now, in the same environment, uh, seeing myself doing something totally different, but you know, like another timeline. And so, but I believed in that. I was very, I believed that we could create new Earth, you know, and that I was working on that. And I believed in all the galactic lives I saw myself in, and you know, I believed in everything. So I was fully attached to every layer, and and that made, of course, the reptilian snake, the entity in the program, that made him very very happy, because he had more time to, grow and become bigger, and eventually, it can take you over. And if you're long enough unconscious working in a program, because you are identifying, or you start looping in the program, and then it seems like you're expanding, going to a higher dimension, but you're still in the same program, and then that entity, that reptilian snake, has the time, the opportunity to, evolve fully and become a full grown entity. And because that's what we do, we birth entities for them. So I have birthed also three, of where I'm conscious of, I birthed three of them, but in that moment I was not conscious. So I saw entities in my space, and on several occasions, and I thought they were, there to attack me, but they were you could say, my own entities I raised unconsciously, because I was, so hooked on the 5D, and the new age BS. So, but they were my own, and but when I entered the consciousness period, in which I saw everything disappear, the forest, I saw the forest disappear, I saw myself disappear, I became aware of the nothingness, and I was just like, well, let's just detach from it all, and only focus on the elements, because that's true to me in this now moment, and myself, my source. And as soon as I started doing that, I went very rapidly through the programs, in high speed, and demagnetizing them all eventually. And um, and the entities that were part of the active programs, but not full grown, they just, bloop, they just, as soon as you demagnetize a program, you become conscious of it, it becomes nothing. It becomes nothing. And also the reptilian snake, the entity becomes nothing. And the egg cease to, uh, how you call it? Well, it doesn't live anymore. It's just, it's gone. So, well, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just keep doing the work, and make sure that you do not lose yourself in those false, uh, because that reptilian snake is also there to um, seduce you. It's trickery. It wants you to believe that the dimension you're in, you're working in a cave somewhere on Sirius, and you're this high priestess, just an example, and you can see what you can do, all the magic, and you're like, wow, and I am that high priestess, and well, as soon as you identify with it, you are stuck. You are stuck in the program. You start looping. You start looping and looping and looping. So just detach, observe and detach, observe and detach, and love yourself. That's the most important one. Love yourself. So and so, because you're already home. Your source, your nothingness, you could say, is your home. Your first electromagnetic spark that you are in essence, that has a consciousness as soon as it enters this hell realm, and it has all the knowing. It has all the knowing. It has all the knowing. You do not have to ask questions. You do not have to visualize timelines, or what you want, or you don't have to create, or it you don't have to do research. You just have to go with every moment, and with everything that unfolds, you know, and everything just unfolds. It's so wonderful. So, is there a way to experience this realm very peacefully and calmly and from a deep knowing within? Yes, there is. There is. And do you, so, and of course, there are resets within this game, but don't fear those resets, you know. Make sure you enter the space of the no thing, work on yourself, and then you're just gonna observe it, you know. Because once you're home in the no thing, in the nothingness, you are everything. Everything is there. And you know, it's just and what's the worst thing that can happen? So your avatar stops. Okay, cease to exist. Well, that's a happy, very, very happy event because you know, then you can go home, you know. Yeah, be in your source, be in your nothingness. Just be that beautiful, magical electromagnetic spark. And then from there, you know, you'll see. But we can get out of this hell realm. Yes, we can. And we know our way home. You just have to fully trust that you know. You know, that's it. That's it. So that those snakes, those entities I'm talking about, um, what is their function? Well, they traveled with me, you know. They traveled with me. I'm the one who created the pathways, you know. I shared a piece about time yesterday morning because I saw the word time yesterday morning when I woke up and I turned it around and it was emit, emit. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. Emit. Yeah, of course, you know. Emitting is producing. So, you know, um, the same with timelines, you know, and time traveling. It's us, you know. As soon as we uh, place our focus and we attach or we entangle, you know, with something, we emit, we emit a timeline because we create a pathway, you know, through coding. And I call it mineral pathways, but it's just through coding. And we create this pathway, and that's what they and if we keep our focus somewhere for a long period of time, it becomes a space in which you can reside, you know, in which you can live in a way, energetically. So um, and they don't have the capability to do so. Only we, as magical source beings, can do that. So they want to learn from us, you know, in a very evil way, but that's their way. And so they travel with us. So those snakes entities, they, as soon as the program becomes active, the snake finds its way into the egg of the program. You know, we start experiencing past lives and well, galactic lives and blah blah blah. And but it's us. We are creating it because we are emitting timelines. You know, it's just time is emit. It's producing. And just this morning, someone responded on the post about time is emit, and she shared a lifetime, you know. Yeah, of course, lifetime. If we play with lifetime, now time we know is emit, and life file. So a file. So we are nothing more here to you know, the machine of this hell realm. We are nothing more than a file, you know, and we are producing a file for them. And those snakes are observing and you know and taking it all in, you know, all the pathways we create, the codes, and they want to see how we do that. So because they want to become like us, you know. That's and yeah, but that's not possible. So that's not possible. So they are trying to do it now. This coming reset, the new reset that we are already in. You know, we are in the ending and the beginning is here. Through you know, making a computer like a human avatar. You know, so it comes, you know, a bit closer for them, for the machine. Yeah, but yeah, but if you want to enjoy this hell realm, you can. You can. You just have to demagnetize all those programs and be honest with yourself. Love yourself and don't attach. Don't attach to nothing, you know, because all is within your source, knowing. Yeah, so don't worry and don't get lost in fear and because unsafety is a theme at the moment. Nessus is coming into a certain position, you know, the asteroid of Nessus. Now we know what Nessus is about. It's about rape, murder, you know, violence, through words, physical. And I also have Nessus in my chart, in my programming, in my Gemini house, Gemini programming. And I demagnetized it, but I'm experiencing now. Now we are in 2024, and Nessus is getting into his new position that the machine is trying to you know, send in codes. I see them coming. You know, it's just I'm once you are in your nothingness, fully detached. You know, love yourself. You become the observer. You know, and you know everything you need to know in every breath. You know, you do no longer ask questions. You do no longer research because you know. And it's you can see it coming in, you know, you can see it coming in. And so the code comes in, and of course it wants to, you know, show something. And one time a month when I have my moon program, you know, my field is not as strong as normally, you know, so I'm more vulnerable, but I'm very conscious about that. That's one time a month, and it's always during that first day of bleeding when I'm just, you know, very blue. uh, it comes in, but I'm just I'm seeing it, but I become conscious of it as soon as, you know, uh, the you could say the movie starts playing. And normally I see it before it enters, you know, so it doesn't enter, but it enters. And the last two experiences I had to do with unsafety and and get into fear and feel unsafe, you know, that. And that's progressing now because Nessus, you know, is coming into a certain position. And so they showed me this movie with me as the main character, and you know, blood everywhere, dying, and well, and I was observing that and smiling at the same time. I was like, well, that's a nice try. I just love the movie. Thank you for sharing that. Bye now. You're nothing. And it's gone, you know. But if you still believe that that you know, if you're still working through your programs and there are still shadows and disbalance in emotions, and you're still very into your mind, you know, your thoughts, you believe you are your thoughts, you're very easy to trick. And it's a mind game, you know, it's a mind game. So they try to distract you, trick you through the mind, through thought and imagery, movies. Look, it's like a movie screen, and but don't fall for it. Just be very aware that that's the energy. Well, the frequency we are in now. It's that they're gonna try to make you feel unsafe, even more and more and more and more. And so if you have movies playing in your mind and thoughts are coming in and don't be tricked. Don't be tricked. Just detach from it. Observe, detach from it, you know, and just wave. Bye bye. Yeah, didn't work. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's important. That's important to know. That's where we are now, and yeah. Anything else? Well, about time. Emit. Yeah, time, emit. We are producing a file. We are producing lines. We are producing travels. You know, we are the ones who are producing that for them. We are the fuel. As long as we attach to everything, to every thought, to everything we see, as long as we attach to it, ID-entify and read about it, do our research, we still have our focus there. And the important thing is that we pull away our focus fully. We are only here right now with our own knowing, and that's enough because you know it all. But you have to trust that. And it's a process. I left school when I was young, so that's that's wonderful. you know I didn't because if you go to school for a very long time and you study and you study and you study and you study until you're 25 or 30, man, you experience so many programming, because the schools are programmers, you know to keep you far away from your source knowing. And so it takes a bit more time, I guess, to fully, fully believe that all you need to know is right here, right now, in your own source, you know, in the nothing. That is why it's become so peaceful and calm because you don't have to ask questions anymore. You just know. Yeah. And yeah, and when you're nothing, they have nothing to work with. That's and is it that simple? Yeah, it is that simple. It's so simple. Just make sure don't attach, don't identify, let go of all the narratives and bullshit and new age bullshit and yeah, just be, and everything unfolds. You know, I'm still very much creative. I'm creating beautiful stuff from moment to moment. But it's 180 degrees different of what I created before, and but it's just there. I don't think about it. I'm not thinking about what should I do or what. No, it's just unfolds. It unfolds, and I go with the movement of the unfolding in that now moment, and something just is there. And what is unfolding now is Nessus. It's wonderful. It's like my demagnetized Nessus is unfolding creatively, is that the right word, um, into art that shows uh, Well, the experience of Nessus, from being in the box, out of the box, just when it's magnetized, and it's just what Nessus represents. But you know, seen through my source, created through my source. So it's wonderful. So it's wonderful. So so when you're no thing, everything just unfolds. You keep creating, but you don't have a plan. You don't care about an outcome. You just don't care. You just go with whatever unfolds. You know, in every now moment. Yeah. So it doesn't get boring or something, and you become very flexible. Whatever is needed. That's important. It's the end of the reset. The new reset is here, and we have to be flexible and move with whatever is needed. You know, change. Be flexible when it comes to change. You know, yeah, but don't be tricked. Um, Stay very conscious. Yeah, yeah. And I also shared that I was in my blog, I guess, or yeah, that I would share something about love experienced from the nothingness and love experienced from um, a shadow, when we fall in love from a shadow within. Yeah, love becomes, if we turn it around, evil. We fall into evil. Yeah, yeah, and then we are blind for 6 months, and then the trigger party starts. And how does that work, And yeah, well, I've written something down about it on my blog if you want to read about it, and I will share more about it in another video, because otherwise it becomes too long, the video. Well, enough for now, and well, have a wonderful, peaceful, harmonic, every unfolding now moment in this hell machine realm. Because if you manage to reach that space within you, you have reached heaven. Yeah. And you observe the hell game and you laugh about it, you know. You just laugh about it. They have nothing to work with. Yeah. Well, that's enough for now. Say bye bye. Mm. Bye bye.